We're going to dive into a story that's a pretty powerful warning. It shows how just one single private thought, something you might just casually mention, can set off a chain reaction that leads to absolute tragedy. This isn't just some old fable. It's a real look at the dangers of trust and the incredible power of a single word.
Seriously, just take a second to think about that. Have you ever shared something thinking it was safe, only to have it twisted and thrown right back in your face? That feeling of betrayal. Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down today, all through the story of a hardworking horse who made one tiny mistake.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Picture a quiet farm. Our main character is this loyal, hardworking horse. Day in and day out, this horse is plowing the fields, never complaining. He's the very definition of diligence, but deep down, he is just completely and utterly exhausted. And this single thought right here, this is the spark that lights the whole fuse. It's not some grand plan for a rebellion, it's not even a complaint. It's just a simple, private wish for a little bit of rest. Something I think we've all felt after a long day.
So later that night, a cat wanders into the stable, sees how tired he is, and asks him what's up. And in this moment of vulnerability, the horse just tells the cat his simple wish. He figures it's a harmless little chat. What could go wrong? Well, he couldn't have been more wrong. This is where it all starts to fall apart.
All right, now you've got to watch this closely. We're about to see how this one innocent thought goes on a toxic little journey. It's basically the deadliest game of telephone you can imagine. With every single retelling, the story is going to warp and twist, just getting more and more destructive as it goes.
And here it is, the very first critical twist. The horse's simple thought, "I need a little rest," is immediately warped by the cat into something way more dramatic. The horse plans to leave for another farm. See? It's not just an exaggeration, it's a total fabrication that introduces this idea of betrayal.
And look at how the lie just keeps growing. The cow doesn't just repeat the rumor, she adds a motive. This is classic gossip, right? You add a why to make the story juicier. So now the horse isn't just leaving, he's a victim, escaping this cruel master who starves him. The stakes just got a whole lot higher. But it doesn't stop there. Oh no. The rabbit takes this story of cruelty and adds the final killer detail, a kind new master at this other farm. This is genius in a terrible way, because now the horse isn't just an escapee, he's a traitor, leaving for a better deal. This is the version that's going to seal his fate.
And now, the rumor, which is a complete and grotesque distortion of that original tired thought, is about to land in the worst possible place, the ears of the master's servant, someone with direct access to power who can actually act on this lie.
And there you have it, the lie in its final, deadly form. Just stop and think about it. This all started with, "I need a little rest." And now, it's a full-on conspiracy about a ringleader plotting a massive rebellion with every animal on the farm. It's the absolute worst-case scenario spun from nothing but whispers. The consequence is fast, it's brutal, and it's final. The master hears this tale of betrayal and doesn't ask a single question. He doesn't investigate, he just acts on the rumor. And just like that, by the next morning, that loyal, hardworking horse is gone. Forever. So, this horrible ending really forces us to ask why. How on earth did an innocent private thought turn into a death sentence? Let's unpack the real lesson behind this whole devastating chain of events. This is the real question, isn't it? The tragedy wasn't really born out of pure evil, not at the start anyway. It was fueled by this chain reaction of carelessness, of gossip, and, let's be honest, the human love for a dramatic story. It's a powerful reminder of how fast our own words can be snatched away from us and twisted into something we don't even recognize. So the lesson here is pretty clear. When you share your vulnerabilities, you're taking a risk. People can and will twist your words, just like the cat did. They might blow your problems way out of proportion for a better story, like the cow. And in the end, your struggles can be weaponized against you, just like we saw with the master. The price of trusting the wrong person is absolutely devastating.
So what can we actually take away from this story for our own lives? Well, it boils down to a really simple but profound idea. Be incredibly careful about who you let into your inner world. This story teaches us that we should treat our private thoughts, our secrets, our dreams, our vulnerabilities, like they're treasure. Because they are. They're valuable and they need to be protected. The lesson is to guard your heart, be smart with your words, and remember that not everybody has earned the right to hear your story. And that brings us to the final, really powerful takeaway.
Look, the point isn't to never trust anyone ever again. It's to have a deep respect for the power of your own words and to recognize the very real danger of careless speech. In a world that's so full of noise, sometimes the greatest strength you have is just silence. Definitely something to think about.